Blah, 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 blah.
Or we could say, hello, year one blue. This is Catherine and Maddie, and we're talking about how we made a Christmas tree decoration. So we've got the finished one on the left-hand side, and we've got the one we're making on the right. So first off, we grab this triangle shape.
Yes.
And we stretch it, and we make it bigger and fatter, and we copy it. So we've got 3 triangles all on top of each other. What we can do then is called, do you remember? Grouping. That's right. So we group them together, and suddenly, instead of having 3 triangles, we've got 1 Christmas tree shape. And from the middle, we can make it taller or shorter, and we can lift it off the bed or put it back on the bed. And the bed is where the workspace is, where we work.
It's not where you sleep.
It's not a bed you sleep in. So see here, I'm making it skinnier because we don't want to print it too thick because it is just a Christmas tree decoration.
Only a Christmas tree decoration.
Yep. So next up, we've made it bigger just by pulling the corner. And what are we doing here, Kat?
We're getting text and writing 1B 2021.
Yep. And so we copy it, paste it, and change the text to say 2021 because that's for this year.
For you, because I thought it, because when we were looking at it, I thought it was 2020. Oh, never mind. Let's just
This is the trunk of the tree.
Trunk of the tree.
And we've grabbed a kind of semicircle shape. And
Semicircle. It's cylinder.
Yep.
Cylinder.
It's like a part of a cylinder.
Yep.
It's flat on the bottom because we're printing this on a flat surface.
That's the star.
We're adding the star.
Twinkle, twinkle, little
And
star.
we're moving it right to the middle. And if we overlap objects, it means that they'll print together. Whereas if something's floating off the top, it won't be joined to the model when we eventually print it. So it's very important to make sure things overlap.
Those are cool. Those things are cubes that have been turned into prezzies.
So they start as cubes and we can squish them down and make them more rectangular. And we're adding, I think, 3 of them to be the presents. So as you can see, we can rotate around them and make them different shapes.
Or even make them 90-degree angles.
We could.
But that's not what happens.
So by grabbing in the middle, you can shrink them down. That brings their height down. That's very useful when you're making a 3D object. So here we are, and we're looking around it. And if you see that, the 2021 has gone all the way through. So I bring it up and I squish it back down. That way it won't print underneath the model, which it can't do, but it might affect the print when you export it. It might try and make rafts or even have something that stands underneath it to print further up.
But it happened underneath my teddy bear.
It did, yeah. So we've learnt lessons from that as well. So next we want to do
the Christmas tree baubles.
We want to do baubles, but we decided instead of a whole sphere, we're just going to do half spheres.
What are called? What were they called? Semicircles.
Yeah. And because they're flat on the bottom, it means that they print upwards from a flat base. So we're sticking one of those on each of the points of the tree. And then we might put a few in the middle, I think we decided. Oh,
no,
here we go.
This is scribble. We're making bows for the presents.
Yep. So you can draw any shape and then it renders it as a 3D shape. So then you can give yourself bow shapes.
Or you could just draw a picture of yourself with a jackhammer.
Okay. So
Why
you can
jackhammer
literally
me?
So scribble just means that you can use your mouse to draw onto the surface and then it turns it into a 3D object. Yes. So we're making the trunk a bit skinnier.
Skinner.
And what else do we have to do? Oh, we're putting baubles in the middle.
Oh, yes.
So we just copy them, paste them. Oh, that was the wrong thing. So put it in. And I think we bring it up a little bit so that it's sitting on top of the Christmas tree surface. And then
Mummy, we've already
Then
made
we
one.
added a nice loop so that we can tie some ribbon through it.
Yeah, but what about the middle? Doesn't... Oh.
So it has to overlap so that it prints onto the shape.
Shouldn't we group it?
We group it right at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Oh, that's punching a hole to put an LED in.
That's right. And it's a very specific LED. It's called a 5mm LED. So we've added a 5mm hole. And that means the LED fits perfectly inside of the Christmas tree decoration.
Yeah.
And finally we group it all together. And that makes it one object we can then export as an STL.
Export?
We export it, and so then we can import it into our 3D software. And from here, I can set how it's sitting on the 3D printer base. I can make it bigger or smaller, and I can choose whether it's got a raft or not. Now, we printed these with rafts, because rafts hold the 3D print onto the platform. So that's what it will look like when it's printing. And here's what are we printing here? Do you remember?
Nativity scene.
Now, the printer does not go at this speed. This is 9 hours of printing, all sped up. So in your future, in the next 10 years, you'll be able to print things at that speed, I reckon.
So
and then you can paint them, make them beautiful. So here I'm going to solder up the LEDs and the battery for you. Each of the LED battery holders has a screw to keep the battery in place, and we solder the short leg onto the negative and the longer leg onto the positive. And this means that the battery will light up your LED when you use the switch to go on and off. Next, you can colour in your 3D printed Christmas tree, and Catherine's going to show you that you can take off the sticky backing from the tape. You put the LED through the hole in the star and gently bend it over and push it down. Then you can test that the battery works by switching it on and off. Next, we're going to take a piece of ribbon and thread it carefully through the hole, and then cross it over and tie a knot at the top of the ribbon. This is so that you can hang it on your Christmas tree. So you go over and through the hole and then back across and tie a knot.